Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know me and my family had a great time. My wife and I hosted, I think we had 20, no, I don't think, I know. We had 29 people at our house, which was crazy because that's way too many people, and this was our first time hosting ever. So my wife is amazing. It all happened, and my kids were really loving having all their cousins over. So that was pretty cool. So, hey, we're back into it, and I wanted to kind of take a look. Let's get that out of the way. Take a look at our ALA for this week, and then we're going to peek ahead to, boom, Summative Project. We're going to look at that and talk about that a little more today. So the ALA this week is similar to what it was last week. You will be writing a funeral service. There you can see the assignment. 1, construct a funeral service by drawing on the best elements in Malfers and Willett, then making them your own. Choose one of the family situations below, then design a service reflecting their circumstances. This is one area in which it is very different from last week's assignment. You're going to be trying to create something that is customized for a specific audience, and there's 4 options that we'll take a look at here in a second. Begin the paper by describing the deceased person in terms of the circumstances surrounding their death, faith status, surviving family, and type of funeral. What type of funeral is this? Include one bullet point, a bullet point order of service, and 2, a written script of service that includes full text of the following elements. So this is what you need. This is a word-for-word verbatim, not a, then the minister will say some opening words, and then he will have a prayer of invocation, and then a closing benediction. I want you to actually write down word for word what each of those things are. What you will say, as if you were up front reading this, it would include all your opening words, the prayer of invocation, and a closing benediction. These elements must be provided for both the main funeral service and for a graveside interment service. If you've never been to a funeral before or a graveside before, there's often 2 ceremonies. The funeral is often in a church or a funeral home where they will eulogize the deceased and include all the elements that you're studying this week. And then that same pastor will often go to the graveside where they actually lower the casket into the ground. And that is a much more personal event where there's not a ton of family. Sometimes those are done at the same time and place. Sometimes it's done before. Sometimes it's done after. It just really depends on the situation. So the graveside is more personal, and it's typically more family members. So not less formal, but definitely more intimate, if that makes sense. So don't copy and paste the elements. Present your own thoughtful work, standard language. Craft your approach artfully to the situation you choose. Must include 750 to 1,000 word funeral meditation for the funeral described and outlined above. This should be a word-for-word transcript. Focus here, word-for-word transcript. So up here to step number 1, don't copy and paste. Present your own thoughtful work. If you reword it or if you're using a source, please cite the source. Last week we had a lot of copy and pasting going on and not a lot of citing going on. So if you use a source, especially for formal pieces like this, there's kind of an expectation and a set standard of what you would say. That's totally okay. Just quote it and then cite it. Or if you're just paraphrasing it, but you got it from somewhere, still include a citation at the end. I want to see your attribution to the original work. So that's it. It's pretty straightforward. I think you're going to have a good time doing it. You have 4 scenarios here. Husband of an East Indian family, tragic auto accident. Hardworking 18-year-old young man drops dead of congenital heart failure. The cantankerous elderly mother of a couple in the church passed away from cancer at the age of 75. 12-year-old daughter of a non-Christian couple in the church's neighborhood passed away from leukemia. None of these are easy funerals, okay? The grandma and grandpa who died peacefully in your sleep, forget about it. These are tough ones, and I want to see how well you guys do putting that together. As always, please look carefully at the rubric. The rubric. Come on, rubric. There we go. Oh boy, it's not looking hot. Here we go. Our internet's doing pretty poor at the old church today. Let's scroll up. Come on, baby. There we go. It's pretty much the same rubric you've had the last few weeks. just make sure that you're hitting all those points, and I'll be looking carefully for your outline to include those major pieces. And again, it is a manuscript, and you have a funeral and a graveside. All right, let's peek ahead to the summative project. Now, this is due on Monday, so you get an extra day to turn it in. And when you do this, you will be done with school for the semester. You can enjoy Christmas like a normal human being. You can sleep again. You don't have to read boring books anymore. Not that these books are boring, but they're not exciting, let's be honest. And you can enjoy Christmas. So here's what you got. 8 to 10 page paper on the theology and practice of one of the following in the life of a church. So this is your paper on infant dedication, water baptism, communion, weddings, or funerals. And in that paper, you are going to write about the theology, history, culture, and practice. So your paper will have 4 major sections: theology, history, culture, and practice. Look here, at least 5 quoted references to scholarly articles or assigned reading, at least 2 from the Northwest Library. So not Wikipedia, not your church's website.com, not Jesus blog at blogspot.com. I want to see some real sources, some real scholarship here, and I want to see theology, history, culture, and practice, some people who actually know what they're talking about. Show me what you got on these subjects. So just start thinking about that. This is something we've been working on all semester. So if any of these, infant dedication, water baptism, communion, weddings, or funerals, jumped out to you, I would suggest you start thinking about it now. If I had my way, I really think water baptism and communion are really important parts of something you'll do far more often than weddings, funerals, or maybe infant dedication. But baptism and communion, those are 2 big ones. So if you're undecided, I would push you towards one of those 2, just out of my personal preference. And I think that'll get you the most traction in your ministry career. So let's jump back over here. And yeah, thank you guys. Hope you're enjoying the course. Hope you're getting something out of it. Hope you're enjoying the video feedback. Also, man, one last thing. Don't forget to put it in some, what do they call it? Feedback for the course. What do they call that? It's like professor feedback or course evaluations. Don't forget your course evaluations. These are really significant. You probably don't think twice about doing them, but it's really helpful when you guys give good feedback. A lot of us, like myself, don't hear much feedback throughout the semester, so to read your thoughts at the end of the course, it really means a lot. So just consider that. It was be real helpful, and I love hearing that. And anything you liked, it's also great to hear that, and so we appreciate that always. So anyways, crush it. You guys are going to do great. We'll talk to you soon.